So we're getting closer than ever to a brand new Animal Crossing game, and of course rumours and supposed leaks have been swirling around the internet all month. Whether they turn out to be true or not, there's no denying that at some point in the future we will be playing a new Animal Crossing game on the Nintendo Switch 2, it's just not something that Nintendo is going to miss out on. However, there is one thing about it that has been worrying me quite a bit, and I feel like a lot of Animal Crossing players will share the same sentiment. Especially those who really love what makes Animal Crossing Animal Crossing. Now, for the longest time, a lot of these sort of rumors and supposed leaks that have been going around about the next Animal Crossing game have kind of centered around the idea that next time we'll be moving to a big city and the next Animal Crossing game will have skyscrapers and cars and moving vehicles. It'll also be heavily multiplayer focused, and that's kind of the premise of the new game. Now honestly, I don't really believe any of these leaks. I think it's way too early for anyone to know this much about the next Animal Crossing game. There's a huge difference between knowing something is going to be announced in a direct than actually knowing details behind the development of a game that is probably still a ways off. But it's certainly safe to say that these rumors have gotten a lot of traction online. Every time I go onto TikTok, I see tons of videos about these, and these get a ton of different views. So there's a lot of people who strongly believe this is what the next Animal Crossing game is going to be like. Now, don't get me wrong, I would be happy with whatever Animal Crossing game we get at the end of the day, provided it's not something like Amiibo Festival. I'll just be excited for something new Animal Crossing related, as I love the franchise that much. With a lot of people who didn't like New Horizons as they were sort of old-time Animal Crossing fans, they didn't like a lot of the changes or things that were removed, I still absolutely loved the game, even though I did have some of my complaints. So if they did decide to go down this path, I'm sure that I could find ways to enjoy it still. But I think a lot of you will agree with me that it would be incredibly disappointing if Nintendo decided to take Animal Crossing more in this direction, rather than the more obvious direction that they should be taking it for future entries. My personal hope with the next Animal Crossing game is that they will lean more into the vibes of the original games, like the original GameCube game and Wild World and City Folk, where the focus is more on living on a very small, cozy little town where the main part of the game is kind of your relationships with your villagers and enjoying each and every day in a very sort of foresty setting. Now, that's not to say that I don't think they should have any crazy new fancy features with the next Animal Crossing game, as every new entry does this, but I feel like something like Animal Crossing New Leaf would be a much better option, where you do have a ton of different features related to multiplayer, like of course the very famous Tortimer's Island that is absolutely beloved in the community, but you don't go as far as completely changing the vibes of what makes Animal Crossing so beloved. To me, a lot of these ideas about skyscrapers and moving cars and such just don't feel like Animal Crossing at all. In fact, it kind of reminds me of that Banjo-Kazooie game where they made one on Xbox, I think, when they switched things over to Microsoft, and it was effectively a completely different game. That'd be kind of the same vibes here. Funnily enough, that game was based around cars too, so maybe there's just a curse there. Now, I absolutely wouldn't mind it if there was some sort of big multiplayer city. After all, I don't think they should just bring back Tortimer's Island. Repeating the same ideas isn't necessary. They could do something new. And hey, maybe it could be somewhat similar to what they did in Animal Crossing City Folk. I think the city there worked really well, and it didn't feel too big. It didn't feel like something that just didn't fit Animal Crossing whatsoever. So maybe if they brought back something like that and also added the multiplayer aspect to it, that could honestly be really cool. I just really hope that we won't go from living on an island to living in a big city. It would just feel so wrong. I already don't like the island concept nearly as much as I like the one from the past games, where it is effectively more like a forest. It is technically still an island in the past games too, but it's definitely different vibes. The tropical sort of theme is much more prevalent in New Horizons than it was in, say, I don't know, Animal Crossing Wild World. I know a lot of people have their complaints that with Animal Crossing New Horizons we can just do too much. Terraforming is a big step up and it allows us to just do whatever we want with the game, whereas I know a lot of people like the past games where things are a little bit more limited. Personally, I'm okay with players having as much control as they want to decorate their islands. I think if you don't like it, you don't have to use these features, you can just play without them, it's not a requirement. And I think Nintendo will probably continue to lean more into the decorating side of things, because whilst traditional Animal Crossing fans remember the series more for the interactions and the lifestyle than the decorating, it is the decorating that actually sells the copies the most, honestly, starting with Animal Crossing New Leaf. So there's absolutely no way, in my opinion, that they're ever going to take that away or stop leaning on that so much. They're going to go in on that even harder for the next Animal Crossing game, I'm sure. And I'm okay with that. I really don't mind that. I just think if we go as far as completely changing the setting of the game to a massive city, it just really won't feel like the same Animal Crossing that a lot of us know and love. It's fairly safe to say that for the next Animal Crossing game, it'll still be a lot of people's first entry. Even though the majority of people seemingly jumped on with New Horizons, and I'm sure a lot of those people will continue to the next game, there will still be a fair amount of people who start with the next one. And I really can't imagine their first experience with Animal Crossing being like this. It would just feel so strange, you know? I feel like at least with New Horizons, you still get a lot of the same themes and vibes from the past Animal Crossing games. Aesthetically, the setting isn't too drastically different than what we know in the past. Now, I don't think we have to worry too much at this point, as like I said, these are all rumors or supposed leaks, and the leaks aren't particularly very credible at all. But I thought it was worth discussing, as there are so many people out there now who do genuinely believe this is what we're going to see for the next Animal Crossing game, and I wanted to kind of share why I don't think it would honestly be the best idea. You could definitely use some of these concepts, like I said, give players a multiplayer city to travel to outside of our small cozy town, but I really don't feel like we need to completely change the setting of Animal Crossing in this way. City folk probably had a good way of doing it where you could take the bus into the city if you wanted, but again, I don't feel like they have to repeat that. You could definitely do things differently. We don't need exact versions of what we saw in the past, just like we don't need an exact version of Tortimer's Island in the next game. Instead of doing crazy things like this, I'd rather them just focus on improving villager dialogue, adding back shop upgrades, giving us new exciting things rather than adding updates that just bring back old content. There is so much potential for the next Animal Crossing game to be the best ever, and I think Nintendo will take in a lot of feedback from New Horizons and the complaints that players had. So right now, I am very optimistic about the next Animal Crossing game, and like I said, even if they decide to do the massive city thing, I'm sure I will still love the game anyways. But that doesn't mean that Animal Crossing isn't open to critiques and criticisms, and I definitely hope that Nintendo won't go down this path and will instead focus more on what we know and love about the series as a whole. Let me know your thoughts about what you would like to see for the next Animal Crossing game. Would you like to see it in a city setting, or would you prefer things to go back to their roots and for it to be more like a cozy forest? Definitely share your wish list down in the comments section below. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang so I know you did. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe and turn on notifications for more.